Today I'm breaking down hydration and nutrition brand BioSteel. As you can see, I have their store opened up and I'm going to break down in full on mobile version. But first, let's look at their ad library and where they're running all of their traffic to and what creatives they're using here. So I like their creatives approach. It's very colorful, pops up to the eye. It's a scroll stopper, at least for me. It works very well. I think, for example, in this case, they have this comparison creative right here, which I think it's really good. Comparison between coffee and their hydration product. It's very colorful. Pops immediately. So the creative strategy here is good, but they're driving all of their traffic to the homepage. Now, it's not a usual approach I see between all of the brands I work with and all of the brands I break down, especially in this niche here. So healthcare, nutrition, hydration, supplements. It's not a usual place to run traffic to your homepage. It could work in some cases, in specific occasions, if you're leveraging your homepage in a certain way. The problem is they're not doing this. And on some other pages they have on their store, we're going to look at the homepage, the collection page, the product page. I think they're missing a few opportunities here to get higher conversion rates, higher AOV, and leverage better the recognition they have from athletes and stuff like that. So besides the traffic here that are I think pretty good, I think they need to nail down a little bit better the funnels they're running traffic to, what pages they're running traffic to, and I think this would work much better in terms of conversion rate and AOV. But it's enough talking about the ad library. Let's talk about their store right here. So this is where you land when you click on most of their creatives. Like now, I went through all of them and clicked on a few CTAs, and they direct most of their traffic at least to the homepage here. So the landing here is, I think, not good enough. It could be much better. They have this banner right here which mentions trusted by pro athletes, and they're actually trusted by pro athletes because if you click on this banner right here, they're going to show you they have an entire description here, and they're going to show you like what actual stars and athletes are supporting them. But I think this can be leveraged much better in a different way. First of all, if you're going to run traffic to the homepage, you want to have call to actions here. You want to have immediate links that get people out of the homepage and on collection pages at the very least, or even better on product pages. But here there's no call to action because even if you land here and you don't know that the banner is a call to action, you wouldn't click on it. So I think this is the first mistake here they're doing on the homepage, since they're sending all of their traffic here. I think there's much better approaches and where to send traffic to. For example, collection pages if you have a lot of SKUs, product pages if you have specific winning products or SKUs. Here they're running traffic to the homepage. It could do much better if they just leverage this a little bit better. So for example, here, as you can see, as soon as you scroll down, they already have the breakdown here for the various categories they're selling in. So hydration, protein, specialty drinks, stuff like that. First of all, second opportunity here they could leverage is having these categories. Instead of mentioning them under the fold and getting people to scroll to reach them, they could mention here at the top between the above the fold banner and the menu bar here. They could have the callouts for the various categories of products they have. And this would increase click-through rate a lot and help with all of the traffic they're sending here to the homepage to get them off the homepage and on collection pages and product pages. Remember, there is a goal for every single page in your store, for every lander you use and you send traffic to. There is a goal, and the goal of your homepage is to get them off the homepage as quickly as possible to a product page or a collection page. So this is the goal for the homepage and what you need to focus with. So all of the changes I'm mentioning here and all of the split tests I mentioned for different pages on the store are based on these goals that we want and the core metrics we want for every single page. So here I would make that change. I would change the banner here to a different thing, to a little bit more call to action focused banner on top, especially on the homepage, and then leveraging these pro athlete things in different pages. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that when we go on the pages. So let's go, for example, on the hydration collection page here, and they're selling, they have the collections here. So they have different collections also under the main collection, which in this case they have their hydration collection and they have new and fresh flavors. The structure of the collection page is in itself is not bad here. I think there are a few missed opportunities that they're not leveraging here in the collection page. The first one being they have the separation between new and fresh flavors. They have their core flavors. I think there is a mistake here because they have obviously what they're trying to do here is showcase more prominently their new and fresh flavors, but they have their highest AOV products and their most sold products at the bottom, and you have to scroll to reach them. So these are their core flavors, and they're doing them this favor because they're mentioning first their new and fresh flavors instead of mentioning the main products that got them here and the main products that are selling for them. And I think the products that are also higher AOV, but we're going to check that in a second when we get on a product page. The second missed opportunity they're not leveraging here is having some kind of offer, some kind of callouts for the offers they're running on the collection page. It became a very famous split test to run, a very popular thing to have on the collection page, and it's for a reason, because it performs super well. For example, here having these two and then having this one product right here, and then for example here in this space right here having a call out for a certain offer or a certain product specifically, or one thing that you can specifically do and click to get an offer or access an offer, or stuff like that. It performs very well on collection pages. But the structure in general is not that bad. I would probably also, third missed opportunity, changed the call to action color here. We've seen multiple times white on white doesn't perform super well. Usually having colors or having something that pops up is a little bit better, but call to actions are, especially colors, are very minor things. So I wouldn't really worry about that. I would first focus on the two main things I've mentioned here, which is how they're showcasing their core flavors and the new flavors. So probably an example of that, of applying all three together, will be having their core flavors at the top. So for example, having here three their main core original flavors, and then having here a call to action or a specific box or a call out for one of their new flavors, and that would perform, I think, much better. And a different opportunity they're missing out here, which is not specifically related to the collection page, but it's related to how they're showcasing their products here, is, as you can see, for example, here they have their hydration mix, and they have the sachets for that. They have different flavors, so they have cherry lime, pink lemonade, all of these flavors right here, and they are categorizing them as different SKUs. So this is something that's very brand dependent, it's very niche dependent. Obviously it depends on how your brands works and stuff like that, but we've tested this with a lot of our clients and with a lot of brands in the same niche, and we've usually seen having all of these SKUs in this under the same product perform better than having them separated in many different SKUs, as far as obviously revenue and conversions go. It's just for a factor that there is much less things to choose from at the front, on the front end immediately. So if you're going to go for the hydration mix, whether it's the core flavors or the new hydration mix with the new flavors, you only have 2 SKUs to choose from. So you either choose the from these two, because the only difference here is the 2 factor forms and the 2 types of flavors, the core flavors and the new flavors. You would simplify this by having only 2 SKUs or 2 products at least, or like many SKUs but only 2 products listed on the collection page, and then under one of the 2 products having all of the other flavors listed under that. And we've consistently seen that perform better than having all of the SKUs separated. So landing on the product page here and looking at one of their product pages, there's, I think, much more missed opportunities here than how many there were on the collection page. And the first one of them is what I was mentioning on the homepage with the athletes thing in the athletes banner. They're not leveraging the athlete support they're mentioning on the homepage anywhere else on the store. It's just that banner on the homepage. They're not mentioning those reviews anywhere. They're not mentioning the athletes anywhere else. They're only mentioning it on their homepage while they're sending traffic, but they're not leveraging those reviews, leveraging those connections, and leveraging that popularity anywhere else on the store. And I think that's the first and biggest mistake they're doing here. It's such an easy thing to pull off because they have the support of these athletes and they're not mentioning it anywhere. So I think the first and biggest mistake here on the product page is that, but there are a few other things I want to mention. The first one being how they're structuring their buy box here. So I think this buy box is losing them a lot of revenue, a lot of conversions, and the issue here being is they have different serving sizes. So they have 7, 12, 20, 24, 45, and 100, and all of them is a different format factor. So as you can see here, on the 7 they have the sachets, on the 12 I think also they have the sachets here, on the 20 they have 27, they have the tub. If you go to 24, it's sachets again. If you go to 45, I don't know what it's the tub again, and if you go to 100, it's the tub again, which is what we were seeing on the collection page. So here, this structure here I think is not ideal, and the reason is it's too much confusion for the customer. So first of all, there's too many options to choose from, and the issue is not actually really that. So you can kind of work around that with how many options there is by doing a little bit better filtering on the format factor. So since they have all of these different format factors for different sizes, what you would do here is having a selector for the format factor. So if you want the sachets or the tubs, you would have a selector here on the top and having it visual, so having the actual sachets or the tub like near each other, and you can select and click what format factor you want, would actually work much better here instead of just having the serving sizes and then it changing based on what the customer selects. And then what you would do is, if for example someone clicks on the top format, they only see the sizes that are available with the top format. So in this case, I think it was the 20, the 100 and the 45. So for example, here on the buy box, you would have two images. You have the sachets and you would have the tub. You, for example, click on the tub one on the tub selector, and it will bring you only the options that are available with the tub, removing the other one. So 7, 12, and 40, I think 20 was the one with the sachets, yep, or it was 24. Removing those and only showing 20, 45, and 100. And then if you click on the other option, then it only shows you 7, 12, and 20. So I think this is the first big missed opportunity here. Too much confusion on the buy box, and also every time you click it's a reset. It feels like a different product page. It doesn't feel connected at all. It doesn't feel like the same product. And these things are very important for context and for the purchase decision. So making sure everything is super clear, making sure that it's structured properly. So I think that approach of having the selector here for the format factor would perform much better, and filtering the serving size based on that. And then you would have what I mentioned before on the collection page, also the selector for the flavor, instead of having it as many different SKUs on the store, still having it at different SKUs on the back end, but on the front end showing it as one unique product with different with different flavors. So here also they have the subscription options. I don't think this is performing super well for them based on how it's structured here. I think they're using the default. Yeah, they're using the default recharge subscription widget, which is obviously it's good enough. If you're going to run subscription, then at least having that obviously is good enough. But they're not mentioning any. They're not reinforcing any of the kind of benefits you get from subscribing and saving. They're not mentioning any. They're not pushing you to go for the subscription and the save, and they're not pushing you either to go for a higher AOV or going for the higher serving sizes. So they're just kind of throwing everything in here, and you just select what you need, what you want. I think that obviously depending on their strategy. So if they want to go for a higher profit margin immediately, or if they want to go for a lower profit margin immediately, but going for the LTV play with subscriptions, it really depends on their strategy. But I think they should be pushing for something here, whether it's subscriptions, whether it's higher AOV immediately, whether it's whatever it is. They need to push for it here on the product page, and I think they're missing out on that by just having it. I think the buy box here, probably changing it will be the highest leverage they can probably do here on the product page. It doesn't really take a lot of work. It doesn't take them changing their offer or anything on the backend. It just takes them changing how they're presenting these things to the customer and how they would convey their value better to the customer. Also, one other thing I noticed by just going through all of the format factors, so they have different images between all of the format factors, and keep in mind this is the same product, so I think this is super confusing for the average customer. For example, if I'm going to look at the 20 serving size here, they have actually pretty good images for some of them. So they have instructional images. They show 20 servings, 0 sugar and essential electrolytes. So a few essential SOPs here for the product. Then they have a few images on the flavor itself, so mixed berry in this case. They have an explanation how to use the product and may help with. I think that they could do a little bit better work here on the images. I think this is good enough. They're already using the images carousel for information, which is already a step forward from a lot of other brands we've audited. But they could do a little bit better work, and they could also do this and make it standard for every serving size, because if you switch from 20 to 24, then as you can see, the images also change, and it doesn't feel like you're even looking at the same product because there is different stuff listed. So I think this is also an issue they need to handle here. Here's how their cart looks like. Not a lot to say here. They're using one of the many cart tabs that are available on the Shopify store. I think there's probably better work they could do here, but obviously you're limited when you're using apps. Specifically, you're limited on what you can really do here. So they have, I for example, added a 24 serving packet of the hydration mix. As you can see here, the cross sell is another hydration mix of a different, I think the same the same product but different serving size, so it doesn't really make sense as a cross-sell. If they want to get their AOV a little bit higher and get people to get to the free shipping, they need to be a little bit more they need to be a little bit more strategic around what cross-sells they're proposing here. They're just, I think what they're doing here, just throwing like every single product they have on the app here and just telling the app to show the cross-sells like these. I wouldn't do that. There's much better work and much better sections you can pull off here to also help people to get to the free shipping threshold, because they're only mentioning here on the announcement bar, so you get free shipping over $99, but they're not pushing it. They're not pushing for the AOV. They're not pushing for the $100 anywhere. Besides a little bit on their cart with this section right here, but it's not super effective since it's just giving me all the same products, so just the same product that I just added by different serving sizes. If you're going to do this, so if you're going to like just give the same product but different serving sizes, which doesn't really make sense, the best way you could do that is having a selector here on the cart. So for example, here I got the hydration mix and I got the 24 serving packet. If you want to go for a higher AOV, in this case, what you would do is having a selector here. So for example, having a selector for selecting the serving size. If I want to hop on 48 quickly on the cart, instead of removing the product and then going back and adding another one, which is the current serving size, what would help with AOV is having a selector here on the cart, or even having some kind of offer specifically just for the cart page specifically. So for example, if I get the 24 serving, if you want to get a little higher AOV, you can offer a little discount on the 48 and having a toggle here. For example, saying get the 48 serving size and get a little discount on the original price. That would also work for AOV, but they're not trying to push for AOV in any way here. They just have the free shipping threshold there, and they just tell you that you are this amount away from free shipping, when I think they should be pushing more for higher AOV and also to get people to the free shipping. Good brand with good potential here. I think if they implemented the optimizations I mentioned here in the video, they would be performing much better in terms of conversion rate and AOV. If you want the same audit done for your brand, I do these with brand owners on calls every time, and we've done this and implemented our split testing system for multiple 7 and 8 figure brands. So if you want the same for your brand, you can book a call with me in the second link in the description, and we'll get on a 30-minute free audit for your brand there. If you're a fit and we'll start working together, then that's perfect. If not, you'll still get the game plan to introduce for yourself on your brand and still implement the optimizations. If you want my 60-page guide, e-commerce split testing system from A to Z, I break down everything related to that in my 1-hour guide on the channel. I'll leave in the top right card here. And if you want the actual document plus weekly CRO insights on what we do and the insights of what we do with our clients, then get subscribed to my email list.